In this chapter, we're going to look at a great feature in SketchUp called New Match Photo. It allows you to take an existing photograph and turn it into a SketchUp model based off of the vanishing points and the axes of a photograph. We'll walk through how to set up a new match photo, as well as import and create a china cabinet and drop it into the model. To start, we're in the dining room, and there's a china cabinet that sits basically in this diagonal corner here. We go to Finder, you can see the photograph that we took, and you'll see it's an angled photograph. For New Match Photo to work, you want to take an angle shot so that you can see all of the green axes, which is what we're going to call it, and the red axes here. I've also included 2 flat textures, as Photo Match works great for setting up the proportions of the piece of furniture. However, using the final textures, the image tends to get grainy closer to the vanishing points. In that case, we have flat-on photos that make it a lot more appealing and attractive rendering. Let's go back to SketchUp and just start a new file. Go to File, Import, and in the Working Files folder, make sure you have Format as Use as New Match Photo, and select the Photo Match Furniture JPEG. Then click Import. When you import a photograph with New Match Photo, the first thing that you need to do is set up the origin point, which is this yellow square. The origin point you always want to set to the foreground corner. This would work the same way if you're trying to use New Match Photo to set up a building, but in this case, a furniture example does the trick. The yellow line represents the horizon line, and this square here and the square over here represent the vanishing points. The green and red perspective bars help you align the vanishing points to determine where the axes locations are. Take the mouse, place it over the red square, and then click and drag and place it in the top of the front of this cabinet. The trick with the perspective bars is that you want them to be lined up with each other so that they're parallel. So we know that this location here is parallel to this location here. We can click and drag the green axes, perspective bars, and place them along the side here. You can zoom in if you need to get a little bit more precise. The last thing you want to make sure is that the blue axis is right on that edge or that corner. And in this case, it's not. So we can fudge the perspective bars just a little bit just to make sure they align. That looks a lot better. Once you're done, just right click and select Done. You'll notice it also creates a scene. If you orbit, you'll lose the image, but you can always click back on the scene to realign the axes. Let's move on to the next video where we'll create the massing for the cabinet.